Hello, my name is Chantal McCallum, and I'm here today to demonstrate how to make refrigerator pickles. So why would you even bother doing this? Well, since we're talking about zero waste, we're looking at ways in which to utilize those vegetables in your refrigerator that you're really not interested in doing something else with. Maybe you just want to pickle these because they're starting to get a little wrinkly, like this pepper. This cauliflower is starting to discolor just below, and it's a little bit soft and limpy. So great opportunity to pickle this cauliflower as well as the red pepper. And what I would like to show you today, I'm going to move this over to the side for a moment while I show you these items that I've cut already. So we've got red onions ready, and carrots, we can add those to our pickled vegetables as well, or to our jar. So first what we'll do, I'm going to bring over my large container. Actually, before I do that, let's stuff our jar with vegetables. So I'm going to start with these red onions, and in no particular, really it doesn't matter how you put them in there. You stuff them in. You can push as many onions as you'd like. Refrigerated pickles are so easy. And speaking of red onions, they're just really wonderful to put on anything, like sandwiches, tacos, pizza. I just remember putting, as a child, we always had pickles on the table. So pickles really lighten up a meal. If you have a really heavy meal, pickles do tend to make things, it's a little bit of acid that balances the flavors of your meal. And so if you're looking for a way to do that, then you can throw pickled red onions on them. Okay, almost have all of our red onions in here. And then I'll show you how easy this is by having boiled water. You don't even need to use the stovetop unless you want to, and you can boil water there, or you can even use a microwave to boil water. You will need, for a jar this size, you will need 2 cups of boiling water. All right, we're getting there. See, look, I told you we'd get them all in there. They're all in. And you don't need to be concerned about leaving really too much space, but I tend to at least measure below the ridge here of the mason jar. You can use any kind of jar too, by the way. It doesn't have to be a mason jar. Anything you have kicking around, as long as it's a clean jar with a clean lid, not fancy. So bring this over, boiling water. Measure 2 cups of boiling water. There's 1. So boiling water first, because you're going to add salt and sugar. Now these pickles will not be sweet. Sugar is really there to balance the flavor. So here's our sugar. 2 tablespoons. I have a little onion floating in there. And then 3 teaspoons of salt, which may seem like a lot, but again, you have a large jar. 1 teaspoon. 1, 2. Dissolve the sugar and the salt. As soon as that happens, then you can add the vinegar. You're making a brine. You're going to need 2 cups of vinegar. What I've done here is I've mixed half apple cider vinegar, and any brand will do, and half distilled white vinegar. My favorites are definitely these 2 because apple cider imparts a lovely flavor with your pickles. If you go 100% apple cider vinegar, it's pretty strong. So a little bit of distilled white vinegar, even with red wine vinegar, you can do that combination, or you can do white vinegar only on its own. You don't need to combine them. So there we are. So we have 2 cups of boiling water, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 3 teaspoons of salt, and 1 cup of half and half apple cider and white vinegar. Ready. Pour it in here, mix it all together. And then get your jar of, in this case, the pickled red onions. Pour it on top until you get to the very top, to the edge here. Lovely fruit fly coming for a visit. Wherever there's vinegar, there will be fruit flies. Okay, and then a little little bit of a tap just to allow all those bubbles to come to surface. And you can cover the top of the onions. I'll use the other end. There we go. And then put the lid on and then leave it out on your counter for 30 minutes. Once 30 minutes has passed, pop it in the fridge. Then that's it. It's ready for a month. So it'll last that, well, it won't last that long, especially if you're putting it on everything. Not in my house anyway. Then if we're doing the next one, I'm going to show you, it'll be the same thing. We have a little bit of brine left from the recipe we just did. Look at the result just to see the difference, right? This was made yesterday and refrigerated, and this is fresh. So you'll see this lovely color that comes out of that. Isn't that gorgeous? Love that. All right, then next, these pickles, we can do the cauliflower. Just gonna break off the pieces. We've rinsed and washed our cauliflower. You can toss the pieces in there. When I used to eat pickles as a child though, I liked the cauliflower and the onions in the bread and butter pickles. That's what we had. Peppers. I tend not to put the onions with these pickles because, well, the onions are pink. They turn everything that color. But I do add, as I made over here, there are a couple garlic cloves sitting at the top. So I've added those to this jar to impart a little garlic flavor. And by the way, you can eat the pickles within an hour. You don't have to wait days to eat them, but they do get better as time goes on in the refrigerator. Okay, peppers. Cut them any which way. Okay, we'll have some beautiful color in there. I guess the only thing we're missing is some green. See, last night I found zucchini in my refrigerator that was wasting away, and I didn't want to cook anything. Yeah, I'll put this out. We're just shoving them in, pushing them through. Let's throw a few more cauliflowers. Balance it out. There we go. Might have to make a few extra jars with all this extra veg. They'll keep in your refrigerator nicely, of course. There we go. This is now done. We'll start to pour the brine. One of the things that you could add to this, if you're looking to add extra flavors, like maybe you'd like to make it a little spicier, you can add some red pepper flakes, which is always a lovely thing. Peppercorns as well. So because I have half needed with brine, I'm going to measure 1 cup of boiling water and a half a cup of this vinegar mixture. Halving the recipe for this part, and 1 tablespoon of sugar and 1.5 teaspoons of salt. Still checking to see. Yes. I'm doing the half. Where's the half? There it is. Okay. Mix it all up. Oh, I added the vinegar a little earlier, but you know what? It's still dissolving beautifully because the water's still hot. Okay, here we go. We're almost done. Right up to the top. Shake it around, release those bubbles. Put the lid on, and you're done. 1 and 2. Ready to sit for 30 minutes. Enjoy. I look forward to hearing about what you make.